Just before we put this discussion on the road, there's a report I want to show you. It's a report about the boy, 15-year-old boy that drowned in a retention pond a few days ago, who we understand has been interred now. We just want to play that report, and then we'll just talk about it quickly before we move on to our next discussion.
It's okay.
Small.
Mother of late Victor Odeta has continued to mourn her son, who died after falling into the ongoing construction of a flood retention pond at Okabe quarters off Sapele Road in Benin City. The commissioner representing Ikpoboha on the board of Edo State Oil and Gas Producing Area Development Commission, Mr. Dudu Williams, and the member of the board who visited the site to find a possible solution to avert a reoccurrence of such incidents, said dug up sand from the pond heaped around the pond is enough to serve as a warning sign.
This is well protected. The bond wall separates the canal from the residential area, and while the work is still ongoing, it is not possible for us to put the usual wire banding, the banding wire, the caution wire, because the work is still ongoing. With the bond wall, we feel that the place is very secure. But for a young man like his age at 15, who is supposed to be knowledgeable enough that that place is a danger area and sea went in, is a big temptation. We are using this one to sound warning to parents to tell their wards to stay away from this water canal area. We will see the contractor. The areas where they have successfully dug the canal, they should protect those areas.
Father of the boy, Mr. Lawrence Odeta, who appealed to government for financial assistance, said it took the efforts of kind-hearted individuals who lent him money to enable him bury his son.
I thank God with the conscious cause everywhere. The only one thing I need from government that I need the help, that nobody help us. We'll find way borrow money up and down. Go bury people for cemetery, and cemetery people, they say collect some money for and before they let us drop out there.
Late Victor Odeta, who was said to be preparing for his common entrance examination and was also an apprentice at a generator workshop before his death. Best Mbire reporting.
Actually, that had been a developing story, so now we understand the boy has been interred. But there have been reactions basically to the position of Mr. Williams Dudu, who is the Ikpoboha Commissioner for Etsopadek, where he talked about, for example, how that the late boy being 15 should have been, in his words, knowledgeable enough to know that there was potential danger. And then he also made a second point that sticks out for many people, where he said that the fact that you had sand raised around the retention pond, that also was enough warning sign that at this point, at this stage of the project, the contractor did not necessarily need to have, as it were, iron barricade or guard around the facility. Those statements have actually raised eyebrows. People are saying, first of all, the statement is bereft of emotions, or at least empathy for the couple that has lost a son. And then going forward, what is the best practice for a project like this? Is there a rule that says you can have something more visible, something more of a safeguard than just having a body of sand raised all around the water? I want these two gentlemen to react to this very salient issue, because this is not just the issue about the 15-year-old boy. It's also about the rest of us who are still here. And of course, you would always have human beings around construction site across the world. What have been your sentiments, Bishop?
I felt that the response of Mr. Dudu William is not a response of a responsible father. He has added salt to the injury of that family. And I feel that he has not acted as a good public officer. Somebody like that represents the face of the government. And whatever he says at this particular time will be the voice of the government. People will not take it as Dudu's voice. They will take it as the face of the government, whom he represents. It's funny enough that when people are put in position, I don't know if there's an orientation they go through to know what is called public communication. How do you communicate to the public? The way you talk in your bedroom is different from the way you talk when you are talking to the masses. Now somebody has lost a child. You people, you approve a contract, and the contractor, why digging that one? If the work is not going to be fast, something should be, there should be a barrier around the place. There should be a notice.
Not just sand.
Not just sand. Sand is not a protection. Now this is a boy, you said who is knowledgeable enough. The boy, according to the report, the boy learns generator and also a student. Now such the man that has he visited the family? So if this man can be talking at the site like this, it shows that he's a very cool-hearted person. Now life is involved. Not even talking of somebody injured, a young man who tomorrow might be a governor of this state, or may become somebody great. Somebody at that age who is learning generator shows you that he's not a lazy child. Even though the child is a lazy child, this is a negligence in the part of those who give the contract out, and the contractor itself. The contractor ought to be blamed, because there must be notice and barricade around that particular canal that was dug. I think that the man ought to take responsibility. Somebody of his caliber must resign. He must resign, because what he has said is a statement of a cruel person. To a family that have lost their children, and you lost a child, and you are coming to say the child should be knowledgeable enough. You are even indicting a dead child, even in death.
Bishop, there are people who might think you're asking for too much when you say the gentleman should resign, because a lot of persons believe that's not our culture in this part of the world, to resign over issues like this. But we're going to talk a bit more about maybe certain other issues. Let me turn to quickly Awosagi. These are issues that are a bit complicated. There are emotions involved. Life has been lost, and so on and so forth. And then you have those who are saying it was better not to speak up at all than to speak in this manner. But there's a standard for construction work. You are into real estate, for example.
Absolutely. The bishop has said so much, and in short, I'm in pain in terms of what has happened to that young Nigerian who nobody knew what would have become of him in the future. It's unfortunate that Mr. Dudu Williams, or whatever his name is.
His name is Dudu Williams.
That's whatever he is, because he has lost every out of regard and respect from me as a person. For someone who has risen to such capacity, you should know better. If that boy is his son, will he talk that way? We should be human, and we should have this human feeling. Is it because the man or the father is not rich? He's not one of the big names you could go around town and say, okay, if he's a son of one big person, you think he will go that way? Then we'll be talking of legal action. And he doesn't even know the implication, the legal consequences that is dangling around him for what he has just said. You have created a canal or wherever construction you are doing. It's your duty to notify the public properly. Is there any sign? You are telling us that sand. Can you imagine as if we're in the primordial age, in a country, in a state, a project that is being run by governments? That's the height of insult.
Okay, we're going to take we're going to switch gears here, but I'm very sure in the days, weeks, and months ahead, this development will continue to generate reactions from people across this country. But more importantly, going forward, it should also help us rethink the way we carry out construction of any sorts in Nigeria.